Welcome back, Sweat Equity. Eric Valdez alongside Jewel Johnson and Lynn Lopez, guys. Sorry for the wait. Been pretty busy with some stuff, but it's gonna right into today's topic. For sure. We're gonna get into some mental health issues like we explained last time, guys, like that. But before that, right now, the man of the hour I want to talk about is Demtrious Johnson, Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Like that.
Stop, bro.
Yeah.
Stop.
So
I saw him this weekend. Like of course.
How small is he?
Bro. So this is funny. Yeah. So Ahmed, right? Ahmed's son Muhammad was there. Took a picture with him. Muhammad is almost the same height as Mighty Mouse, bro. This dude's 37. Muhammad is 9.
Yeah,
and he's probably he's probably like 5'1", 5'2". I mean, that's what
pound for pound, arguably the best fighter ever. 5'1".
Right. Well, I mean, it is what it is. 5'1".
Hey, much respect to him. You know what I mean? Like I've been seeing him pop up everywhere, and obviously right now with him winning Master Worlds as a brown belt, and I was surprised that he was brown belt. Just told you that before we got started.
They say 5'3", but that's a lie.
5'3".
Cap.
When she's on
cap. There's no way he's 5'3". There's no way he's 5'3". I just looked at him.
How tall are you, Lynn?
5'3".
Yeah, no way he's 5'3". I'm just telling you, to be honest.
Yeah, every
not 5'3".
But good on him, going out there like that. And I was watching a lot of his highlights, and honestly, it didn't surprise me, man, because he outworked a lot of the guys. Might have not been just technically sound, and stuff like that. What you used to see him in the ring, because it's just a different world, as for gi and stuff like that. All right, but the dude was still fast, outworked a lot of his guys.
You couldn't outwork him in the cage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would that be any different?
He really carried that freaking mentality into on the mat and stuff like that, and was able to finish good submissions and things like that.
But what? But
yeah,
when it comes down to most of these grappling tournaments, bro, if you've got like some high school wrestling or some collegiate wrestling, but you just start jiu-jitsu, they won't let you compete as a white belt, right? Like they won't let you, like you have to compete as a blue belt because you've got some background. Dude became a pro MMA fighter, bro, in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, 17 years in the game,
and he's a brown
you're
belt.
a brown belt?
Yeah, that's a little. And so what? I tell you this too, like off air, like what is a head scratcher for me is like, all right, you win worlds. Typically, that means that you win in worlds, you're the best, in the world, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that. Why you get only one stripe on your belt,
bro?
He got one stripe on his belt. I don't know if that, I don't know if that would be, if I would take that as disrespect as a practitioner, or your coach, is just sandbagging you a little longer. Which one is it?
A little longer?
Which one is it?
So
shots fired. I don't know.
Bro, so I just, I was looking at the thing, and they said that he submitted some fight, a guy named Hais, in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a white belt.
Yeah.
Demtrious Johnson was a white belt. This is 2017, would have been 11 years after his pro MMA career started. Why are you a white belt?
But they didn't have those rules back then,
bro.
But I get what you're saying.
I get
what you're saying.
Even if, whatever. But what do you learn in a white belt? You learn, basically all you do is learn how to survive.
Yeah.
He's probably figured out how to survive at this point. He's
a UFC champ. Freaking. He was in WC right before. I think so, right?
Yeah.
Or was it Strikeforce? No, it was WC. Yeah, because I think a lot of them,
I know it was WEC.
Yeah,
it may have been Strikeforce too.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I know when they literally made the weight class for the guy. You know what I mean? Because before that he was fighting. Yeah, he was fighting at He was fighting at 155. Just to make a living, and then they literally went down. They made the flyweight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bro, I mean, think about it though.
No, but and I think so I think why he put his hat in this and really test his skills with it like that is because he just got called out by Bradley Martin. You know Bradley Martin, the Instagram influencer bodybuilder dude.
Stop,
that's
bro.
been calling out everybody. The one, you know,
that dude's a clown, bro.
You know, like I see this dude, like the dude's about 6'5", 250 pounds. Like the dude is fucking huge. Don't get me wrong.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? But then and like he's talking to, because he even talked to Nate Diaz, and then now he's calling out Demtrious Johnson, and like his whole scenario is like, you think you would win in a street fight with me? Like that, and they're like, and all of them the same answer, bro. I would dust you. He's like, for real, like like that. And so and I think it's just him trying to get into some tune-ups and stuff to put this on.
You think
yeah, I really do. Just to test this out and see where he's at.
I mean, come on, bro. This dude legitimately doesn't stand a chance.
No, like I think I think if he's able to grab onto Demtrious Johnson, for a minute, Demtrious Johnson will struggle just to like figure out how to get his hips out and his weight from out and under like that. I don't see him really getting a good sweep, but I do see a lot of arm drags, or maybe he does, a wrist lock.
I think he'll wrist lock him.
No.
Because like if you hold somebody the wrong way, you're susceptible to the wrist lock. Just like like you pin their hips down.
But
I can get behind your elbow.
I don't know.
He's gonna wrist lock.
I don't know like what they would do like grappling wise. I'm guessing if anything it's gonna be no gi. So the dude would just pull his hand out or something like that. But I see Demtrious just under him for a second if he gets caught. If not, I just see him duck under, take the bag like a spider monkey, and just choke him out.
Climb his back and choke his back.
Yeah.
I said there was a video like that on
I just saw one just before coming here, like that. It was some boxer.
The boxer,
yeah. I don't know if I sent it to you or like that. Yeah, the dude was he
like
called out his he called out his style. It was like 200, and it was like some nerdy freaking glasses wearing guy.
Dude.
He's like, yeah, bro, I will take you. He's doing one of these flips like that, like that. Yeah, the dude was like duck under, took his bag, choked him out. And that boxer dude was like, yo, no lie, that was for real. I thought I was gonna get you. Like you could see it in his eyes, like, bro, I would have got fucked
bro.
up.
It's different, bro.
I was like, man, some of these guys, they just gotta respect,
I think it's hard to respect when you don't understand, like, that's the founding principle was to neutralize the size. Like that's what it was. So I know how to neutralize
jiu-jitsu.
your size.
Let's make that, that's why jiu-jitsu was made. It was made for the small guy, like that.
To even it out.
Yeah.
To even it out. Come on. I mean, okay. I would like to see that because I've been hearing like the beat, not the beat, but like the scuttlebutt.
Yeah, the rumors. All right, like that. There's not a lot of military. I don't, hopefully there's military guys listening and stuff. But
I've been hearing
know
it, bro.
that old jargon.
I do want to see.
All
that.
right, so controversial statement too. Still sticking with Demtrious Johnson because he came out. All right, MMA is the easiest sport to win a championship in.
Bro,
thoughts?
So, I don't know, man. That seems weird to me.
I'm on the fence with this one, because I heard and I read what his argument was, all right, and he has a legit argument.
It's probably very similar to the argument from boxing.
What do you think it is?
Like you're not really getting the best of the best. It's kind of
his okay. So you're tiptoeing around it, all right, like that. But I think you're reading into it too much. All right, his thing is that in MMA is that you have all these fighters, all right, and they still have flaws. We just talked about this earlier in our other episodes, like that. And what I was talking about errors of MMA,
right?
All right, where it was strictly one error. And now, then it came into like, okay, now you have two disciplines of martial arts.
Right.
Like that. Now, if you're not versed in at least boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling, and like, put your 10,000 hours in all of those, like that. All right.
Right.
Then you can't really say that you're a well-rounded fighter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, all right, let's take someone, arguably the greatest of all time. All right. Who they say right now, Khabib. Undefeated, finished his career like that.
Savage.
Yep.
No stand up at all. Who did he knock out clean off his feet? Like I cannot think of one person right now that he knocked out clean off his feet with his striking. strikings or kicks or anything like that.
I can't think of anybody offhand. I'm gonna look it up and see.
Not one person, bro. Like that. Everything he's been on freaking a record saying, why am I gonna go to your game? Why am I gonna play your game? I'm gonna drag you to the floor and I'm just gonna pound you up or submit you. That's all he did.
And he
like
and he was a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah, what I mean. I think it was maybe the McGregor. It was the second fight, maybe the second fight when McGregor was really ready for the takedown, and then Khabib was like, "Oh shit," he figured out how to do, a sprawl and get back up to his feet, and then McGregor was able to tag him up. Yeah, but a clean knockout, I don't think he has one. All right. Let's see. TKO. Now let's go to keep going. No, yeah, and then so let's think about other fighters. So his whole argument is like, you get these fighters that are real great in their discipline. Maybe they're a jiu-jitsu practitioner, they're a good grappler, they're a great Muay Thai guy or a striker like that, but they have holes everywhere else. And then like obviously matchups make fights. Yeah. And so if you get matched up with that one guy can really freaking dissect your game plan of what what you're gonna go to like that, I'm like, you're dead in the water.
You mean like have a good manager?
Huh? It's real hard to duck fighters in UFC as much as it is in boxing or something like that.
Right.
The fight will come to it, like that. But like off the top of my head, as well-rounded, I'm talking about everything like put together, I can only think of two people. GSP being the first, all right, and John Jones now. And then now Demtrious Johnson as well. I'll put him in there, like that. I think everybody else, there's a flaw somewhere. There's they don't have enough, no striking or boxing, or no kicks with Muay Thai, no grappling, with the wrestling, or no submission, like that. There's I think everybody's always kind of left out somewhere, and I think that's why he makes a valid point.
What do you think about Gilbert Burns?
No, striking's not there. Grappling.
That's what I was. He hits hard if he can hit you, but it's
with
not,
what the right hand that it's coming.
It's what I mean. It's just
he's gonna level change right hand, and then take the shot, drag it down. Okay, we're talking. Well, Khabib did it, so he was successful with it. All right, but
nah, he was more of a stand-up guy.
Who I would have?
One of my favorite fighters though, Cowboy Cerrone.
But he choked out. Freaking how many times has he been dragged down and freaking his gas tank freaking done? You know what I mean?
One of my favorite fighters, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of flaws. You know what I mean? And if you can really expose those flaws, because the guy is only a practitioner in one or two disciplines, but he really hasn't figured out on all the other ones. I was like, nah, I get where he says like winning an MMA title can be very very easy, as opposed to a boxing match, a boxing championship match, or a Muay Thai match or anything like that. Guess what? These guys have been putting 10,000 plus hours, freaking into this and this only, into like that. So you don't have you can't you can't expose. There's not much really to expose. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well, so what would your top 3 martial art disciplines be?
Top 3?
Yeah.
It would be wrestling first. All right, you had to have the wrestling.
Okay.
All right. I would put stand up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just for the fact that Muay Thai.
I'm talking about MMA. I'm talking about just in general, like in your
general,
top 3.
Wrestling, Muay Thai, and boxing.
I thought he was gonna go on wrestling,
and wrestling. Dylan, and Dylan.
Bro, I have been watching a lot.
And wrestling.
And what about you, Lynn? What do you think, Lynn? What do you think?
I definitely have an appreciation for wrestling now. I use it all the time in my game. Mm-hmm. But wrestling, jiu-jitsu, I guess it's hand in hand. Muay Thai.
I go really close. Yeah, no, like bring it up to you. Yeah.
And I think, man, yeah, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai.
What about you?
See, I've been watching a lot of this stuff, man. A lot of it, bro. And first of all, shout out to wrestler. I really believe wrestling is the elite.
I think it really dictates the fight. I think it's the number one dictator.
I think wrestling is single disciplines. I think wrestling is the elite. I've been watching it. I'm like, everybody else is great. I love jiu-jitsu. Wrestling is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But here's one that I think is like kind of unsung, bro. Slamming people to the earth, bro.
For what?
Fucking judo.
Oh.
Bro, judo is nuts.
Okay, so, all right. Go ahead and finish. Because I don't want to go to a rabbit hole, but I have my own argument for that. Bro,
judo is crazy. And then after that, I feel like Muay Thai is Muay Thai is the best like stand-up strike. Yeah. Now, conglomerate, like if you had to have one that made you comfortable in all situations, that would be like jiu-jitsu would kind of be like a good like meld. You know, there's a lot of striking, but a good meld of all of them. But individual, like, bro, those are the three for me.
Yeah.
For me, just all time it has to be wrestling. All right.
Yeah.
Because wrestling, stemming from from itself. That what do you get from that? Right. You don't get the judo. All right, but you still get throws, from why am I not thinking Greco-Roman. There you go, Greco.
Yeah.
All right. So you still get the hip tosses and the throws and everything like that,
right.
Of what judo can like that. So you in just that one sport, you get the shots, the takedowns, the throws, everything like that. Mm-hmm. As for judo, you're not taking shots to the leg, what I mean, like that. And then as for jiu-jitsu, I can't really say jiu-jitsu can dictate the pace, because if you're a true jiu-jitsu practitioner, all right. In nogi, what's the nogi game going to right now? Sit on my ass? Come on now. All right, you're not gonna. We're in a fight. We're in a fight. You know what I mean? Like that. So all right. So if you're not taking shots to get the guy down, all right, like that, then what is your submissions are ineffective. Like that. And then it's not like I'm gonna, it's not like in today's modern, MMA world, I'm gonna let someone take me down so I can play my freaking my jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? No, the guy's gonna be grounding and pounding and stuff like that.
Did that?
Yeah, look how did he win that fight?
That was terrible, bro.
As Dana White would not have paid him out, bro. I was like, this is the worst fucking fight ever. I can't think of another worse fight ever.
That was
dragging his ass for 5 minutes on the floor.
That was terrible.
And stuff like that.
Like
Come
a
on
dog
now. Just itching his butt. Bro, come on, man. Like, yeah,
terrible,
you know what I mean? Like that right
terrible.
there itself is like, okay, that I love jiu-jitsu and everything like that, but you talking about narrowing it down to 3 out of my 4, narrowing it down to 3. I can't put it in there.
I wouldn't put it in there.
All right, you have to have some form of grappling. Grappling is going to be king, to dictate the fight, like that. Then you have to have some form of striking, like that. Between boxing and kickboxing, I'm going to go a little bit more conservative. You know what I mean? As for boxing. Okay, because when you're throwing kicks or high kicks up and stuff, you're gonna leave yourself exposed, and if it doesn't land, the guy's gonna take you down.
See, that's what I mean. I don't like the high kicks.
Yeah,
but I do feel you.
Yeah, like I'm all about a low kick like that, but if you risk going high, going for the money shot and the big payday and stuff like that, like nah, like you're exposing yourself and you like that, and it becomes risky. But the thing about being able to strike with your elbows, your knees, your legs, not just your hands. All right, like it's very effective, and And as Khabib has proven, does he even have a belt in jiu-jitsu? I think he's still a white belt.
I don't think so.
Like that. I think I don't even think he even cares about because he does sambo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh.
Like that. So it has some form of submission grappling in there. Like that. Yeah. But the thing is that it's not pure jiu-jitsu. But look what he was able to accomplish.
Combat
he takes the guy down and freaking he's just crank the shit out of someone's fucking neck. Like that. I don't think he really has any leg locks or nothing like that. He has some couple arm bars. They show arm bars and things like that. But that's very basic.
Sambo, judo, and wrestling is his kind of background.
Yeah. Like that. So and so going back to what DJ said, I feel where he's coming from at that. If you can really, pick apart someone's, major flaws like that in a championship fight, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be very easy for you to win. as opposed to, elite boxers, like someone like Canelo and then Charlo, that's coming up like them. Ooh. I'm like, yeah, like, it is a serious chess match. I mean, who, not too many people is, like that, because this is the only thing that they're worried about. There's only, like that, or, someone in Muay Thai, like that, it's a serious chess match because that's all they're focused on. As for MMA, like the only reason I really don't I disagree what he says is because, like, you have to think about so much stuff.
Right.
You got fists coming at your elbows, knees, kicks, takedowns, chokes, whatever. It can go anywhere. And if you're not ready for that, like, you're going to be in a world of hurt. You know what I mean? Or if both parties are ready for it, man, like, it's going to be a hell of a show. Like that. Or it might be boring because they're just tiptoeing too much. Yeah, they're just,
but see, it does kind of make sense because it's kind of like, what he's saying is like if I only have to worry about your hands, you're going to get a much better person coming. But now if I have to worry about your hands and your feet, and then if I'm preparing, I'm also have to prepare for not only your left hand, but I have to prepare for your right high kick, and I have to prepare for your shots.
Yeah. Yep.
So now it changes the way that you prepare. I mean, I get it. I see it. I just think that, bro, that's like a really like walk the line, like a walk the line statement, bro. And but I feel him.
And I just thought about this right now too. So let's go back right now. A hot topic that we were talking about earlier. This Jake Paul, the whole situation.
Right.
All right. This is prime example of why DJ does have an argument of why he says this. You know what I mean? Because these guys are former UFC fighters, veterans and stuff like that. Let's take the age out of the equation. What everybody talks about.
Right.
All right. Okay. What does Jake Paul do?
Box.
He boxes.
Period.
Right now, that's all he's doing is just
nothing
boxing.
else.
All right. Okay. Now
he pretends he's training.
Yeah. But okay, let's think about the fighters that he's been fighting.
Yeah.
You're talking about Jake Paul, 3 hours of training. 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night, all boxing. Okay. You're talking about Nate Diaz, freaking Woodley. All these other guys. They do 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night. All right. 1 hour is about striking, 1 hour is wrestling, 1 hour is jiu-jitsu, like that. You see what I mean? It's all, divided like that, So yes, they have, the pedigree, the striking and the knowledge of it like that, but it ain't 100%, in it. So that's why,
well, then you take people's tools away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
Because I've gotten accustomed to having like, oh shit, I can't kick this dude?
Yeah, you step in with a heavy jab, of course I'm blasting that little leg. You know what I mean? Make you think twice. But now you're telling me now I can't do that? Okay, now I gotta really, work on just my hands and my setups that, I don't do religiously like what this guy is doing. So, you see that's why it's a good argument of saying that, but at the same time, just MMA as a whole, I don't think it's that easy. I think, you really got to put a lot into mastering all these different disciplines, and, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, huh? It's a very controversial thing.
That's it, bro. It's right.
I can see it on both sides. I can see it on both sides, like that.
But I could see it from, I could also see it from the standpoint of it's just like basketball. We have probably not seen the best basketball player to ever pick up a basketball.
Well, the game is changing a lot.
But like,
I think right now it's
in the NBA, but we don't see like the guy who like he got game, like the Jesus Shuttleworths, like the guys who couldn't make.
But do you really think that there's going to be a team created in the future? I mean, like, okay, how many teams are in the NBA? I think like 30 something teams. All right, like that, freaking. All right, but you really think that across the board NBA, that they're going to be in the future, way in the future, that there's going to be 5 guys on 5 guys that are going to be offense and defensive players, freaking the whole 50 minutes?
No, absolutely
not. How long is the game?
Absolutely not.
So,
there's no way.
Like that,
there's no way.
So like I don't think. I don't, you think there's just gonna be 5 guys like LeBron James on each side? So until that happens, I don't think you can really compare those things.
But see, like it's just like when you talk about like amateur sports, right? Mm-hmm. You're talking about guys that like there are players in high school, college, playgrounds that can't for whatever reason. Either they lack the social structure, so they can't get the education to pass and keep the grade, so that they can make it to college and keep going. You know, so there are people out there that are much better than the guys that we see in the pros, but they just don't have the mental to do it.
They can make it through the G League and work through the G League and make it to the NBA. You know, I don't think you need a master or MBA, you know, to be in the NBA.
So one of the things about, like I tell people about law school all the time, I feel like college is hazing. And so I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out, can you work in the structure? And then once they're like, man, this person can't work in the structure. And then they just turn a blind eye to you because you can't work in the structure. And I just like there are guys like you've seen the guy, man. There are guys and you're like, whoa, who is this kid? Who is this guy? Where did this guy come from? But you just haven't seen him. You hadn't heard from him yet.
That's why I like the And1 mixtapes. You know?
Right.
So much,
right. And then but then all of a sudden the guys they disappear. They can't stop. They can't stop doing dope or selling dope or whatever they have to do, because the hard part about being an AMI is what? You got to eat.
Yeah, sure.
You got to eat. You know,
a lot of people, you know, they just give up on that dream just because, you know, financially they just can't even make it.
Right.
You know,
right.
And
so
I'm talking about from experience, and you know, even for me scraping along and stuff like that, life happens along the way. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I get what you're saying but like, you know, as coming up for sure. Moving on, man, I got some shows that y'all need to check out. All right.
You talking about like?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So Netflix, some documentaries. I love documentaries. Y'all love documentaries?
Yeah, I mean,
bro, I could do a Netflix documentary, like any documentary like that. You know, I love documentaries. And right now, have you heard Painkiller?
I just had somebody tell me about that.
No. I know. What is that one? Which one is that one?
Oxycontin.
Oh,
all right, like that. So
that's crazy.
You know,
bro.
it's the whole thing. Revolves around Oxycontin, and it's come up and stuff like that. The family. Go ahead and look up the family. It starts with an S. I can.
For the family.
Yeah, the family that created it.
They created Oxycontin.
I want to say.
Hulu did like a dramatized version called Dope Sick. And
this one's dramatized too, so like, you know, it's all based on true events. You know, they omitted names and stuff like that. And bro, it is good. It's a 6-part series. You know, like that. It's super good. Edie Flowers is the lady that freaking brought everything down. You know, that really the
Sackler brothers.
The Sacklers. The Sackler family, like that. And
that's crazy.
The lady from Orange is the New Black, the black lady. Yeah. You know, I don't know her name and the character's name in there like that, but she plays. She's the main character in this one. So and she's a great actor. You know, like that. She brought the whole thing with the Sacklers like that, because the Sacklers, before OxyContin came out, they had what was the drug before that? Why am I just finished watching this and I'm blanking on all this stuff. I don't want to say Valium. I want to say it was a different a drug. Maybe
it sounds like they're fucking
but they
addicts.
But the first guy, the founder of freaking of OxyContin.
Was it heroin?
Well, OxyContin is basically heroin
Yeah.
in the pill.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm trying to think of the drug before.
I
don't know.
Hold on.
I want to say no. It was Valium. It was Valium.
Valium?
They created Valium, and then
because they're into opioids. It looks like.
And then they changed the chemistry of Valium and turned it into OxyContin and like that. And OxyContin wasn't, you know, it wasn't gonna be on the market, you know, like that, you know, at all, you know, because their whole marketing behind that was freaking. They wanted a drug for people to use, not, you know, that wasn't related to death or cancer, you know, like that, you know, like what morphine was, you know, like that, you know. And they did all these little studies and stuff like that when they were coming up with the name, and this was their sole purpose. Like, you know, we want to take your pain away. You know what I mean? And it was all about, you know, the vicious cycle of pain, like taking pain away, you know, like that to make you happy. And then once you get happy and then you go back to depressed, you start to feel the pain. And so it's just a cycle, you know, cause like, you ever go in the doctor's office like that and they always have
the happy faces?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because, you know, when their drug was associated with 9 and 10, meaning that everything was very painful. You know, you're about to die and stuff like that. They wanted, you know, related to the 4s and 5s and 6s. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have a headache. You know, oh, well, here's some OxyContin. Yeah. You know, like that. Oh, you know, my back is killing me from work. Oh, here's some OxyContin. You know, like that. And then before they knew it, it turned into this whole freaking opioid pandemic, you know, like Bro, that. And people were getting hooked. And
so I'm looking at this. They call it Purdue Pharma.
Purdue Pharma. Yeah, Purdue Pharma.
Bro.
The Sackler brothers.
Everything that they have. Hydromorphine, oxycodone, fentanyl, codeine, hydrocodone. Bro, this is
they're literally
all of this is highly abusive drugs.
And that was the thing about it, because
that's
you know,
nuts.
freaking it was over the counter Schedule II drug. This is before a lot of like that, and for them to get across FDA approved and stuff like that, because there was one guy, all right, there was one doctor on the FDA board, you know, like that was not approving it. You know, and they went months, I think like years, freaking just, you know, covering the guy and talking to him and stuff like that. And then finally they got the guy behind closed doors. Freaking the drug got approved. A year later, he quit his job, and guess who he was working for?
Who?
Purdue Pharma.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that. You know, it was just what a coincidence. You know what I mean? This drug got approved. Now the guy that freaking approved it doesn't work no more. Now it works for the other side, like that. And so it was just a huge pandemic, you know, or epidemic of freaking of overly abused drugs and stuff like that. And man, it's an eye opener. You know, I mean, from the stress, the anxiety, the depression, that people were just using this stuff and got hooked, and you know, eventually a lot of them, you know, died. I think, man, I wanted to say it was like
they've got a ton of lawsuits.
Yeah.
They got a ton of lawsuits.
You know, like that. And then at the end of the movie, freaking or the documentary and stuff like that, where it was even crazier. All right, if you had to guess how many people freaking went to jail after finding being guilty?
Nobody.
Paid a freaking hefty fine that didn't even fucking matter to them. You know what I mean? Like that. And they were still able to sell and make and sell the drugs still after it went all the way up to
because once they get so big, bro, there's too many people. There's too many. I mean, you if you think about folding one of the biggest drug manufacturers in the nation, that's not just gonna like, yeah, it'll kill the people at the company. But think about what the stock market's about to do.
And this right here probably, you know, freaking really get under your skin too, because at the end too, the defense, who's the defense? It would be them, right? Or
they'd be defending.
So then, and what is your side called?
The prosecutors.
The prosecutors. All right. The prosecutors you know, they had everything. They had the smoking gun, the bullet, the dead body, and the hand that was holding the gun. Bro, there is no reason that all these motherfuckers should have went down and went to jail and fucking lost everything. All right? Prosecution freaking settled and made a deal. Why? It was a cliffhanger on that one, like that. And the lady that Edie Flowers, the main character, that was did all the tons of years of research and everything to freaking you know, finally bring it up to Congress and, you know, and take it up to court and stuff like that. Freaking, you know, she was like, what? She was so blindsided, you know what I mean? Like that, because you know, her the attorney that she was working with, like that, freaking settled. Like that, and
a $4.5 billion U.S. settlement plan
didn't even scratch the surface of what they were really making. You know what I mean? $4.5 billion. And they were saying that if you can guess how much a week they were making, bro, I'm talking about Pablo Escobar money, bro. No, 30, like I think either 30 or $300 million.
It's not.
A week.
My brain can't even wrap around that. No.
It's
they were literally rivaling Pablo Escobar just the only thing is that they got, freaking white collars, they got suit and ties like that. So, hey, you know what? It is legal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was just so crazy, man. Honestly, that one right there for sure, you will binge that, all 6 of them all night if you go watch it. Doing it. And then the next one, because I watched that one and immediately it was like, oh, we recommend this one. It's called Take Your Pills.
Oh my God.
All right, Xanax.
Okay.
Right? Like that. You've heard of Xanax, right? Like that. So this one, this is going to segue right into our next topic like that. And I think it's a great way, like that. And this one, it's a whole, because you get waves of these things, you know what I mean? Like, all right, it was oxycodone, then, you got some perks, and then you got some Xanax. Before that, Valium was the very first thing.
It was
you know why Valium was created? Valium was created just for the at-home stay-at-home mom, because this was in, like, you're talking about the early 30s, 40s, and 50s, where the wife would just stay at home. That's it. The guy would work, because at that time you can live off of just a single income,
right?
Household like that. So she didn't have to work, and so these at-home at-home moms and stuff like that, freaking all day just doing nothing and just depressed because they have no purpose of really living, like that, and just taking care of the job, cooking and cleaning like that, and waiting for your husband to come home, or whatever like that. So they're like, oh, here's a pill, make you happy. You know what I mean? Like that. And so, so that's why you always have that stigmatism or that meme surrounding, at-home moms that are always drinking, and feeling drunk. It's like, God damn, it's 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You're,
right.
You're already on your second bottle of wine like that. Yeah. And Valium was created for them, like that, and it was crazy too, because, on this Take Your Pills, they go back to it and talk about it like that. Cause it was just a common thing to always have on you. Just like ibuprofen. It was one of that was the thing like that. How many times you were like, hey man, you gotta, might have a headache, you got Advil or ibuprofen,
right?
Like that. It was a common thing like that. It wasn't even that. It was like, hey, you got a Valium on you. This is a fucking drug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. And so they were talking about that, and it was just, and now today how strongly is abused in college, in students and stuff like that with anxiety, or in the workplace, like that. Maybe trying to perform, perform high, level or whatever it is like that, and how you're trying to just beat the anxiety, depression, or whatever it is like that, and that we're talking about that as well. So two things, you want to go down the rabbit hole of freaking how crazy,
man,
the drug.
It's so weird because it's when you look at the origin of the drugs and how they make the derivative of these opioids is opium.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. You see what opium does to people. Mm-hmm. Like, you see what it does to people. Yeah. So why do you want to make a derivative of it? Like, oh no, this will be a much smaller dose. But like, bro, stop.
I'll tell you a personal story of mine. All right. So Afghanistan, I did 9 months in Afghanistan. All right, like that, and I was into shit. You know what I mean? And I heard this one story that there was this infantry unit that went out. All right. Where we were based at and stuff like that, and we got all our supply, like that. All our supply was shipped to our base, from locals, like that. Right. All right, and then once they shipped it to us, all right, then we'll take it over, and then everything was handled by civilians, contractors, or military, personnel, like that. But getting it to us was all shipped by locals, like that. The amount of people, these locals that are, like when you're seeing them in the truck lots, just waiting for them to get their truck unloaded and stuff like that, they would just be chilling, just always suckling or chewing on these poppy seeds and stuff like that all the time, or hashish, like that. Right. Like that. They will always have a block of it and stuff like that. These guys will always be, in some type of constant high, while they're just chilling. And it was in the motherland. That's where it is, in Afghanistan, the motherland of opioids. Like right. that. And so I remember hearing a story, talk about what an opiate does to you. All right, these guys would be so fucking high on these opiates, on the planet itself and stuff like that. And this guy would, told me, he was like, man, freaking these one guys, so they're in a firefight, like that. He saw this one guy coming at him, shot him. Bro, popped back up like nothing even happened, and then freaking was firing back at him, and then he had to shoot, and then obviously he had to shoot him, in the head,
like head down,
to freaking neutralize him. you know, like that. And it's like, you're telling me the shit that makes someone do that is now, you know, giving over the counter, you know, just to teenagers because, you know, freaking they hurt their knee or like that, or because you know, this at-home mom headache is hurting like that. Like that is crazy to think of.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make sense to me at all. And then they're always, because like right now, the big, you know, the fentanyl's going crazy.
Yeah.
You've seen that drug they got in Philly, right?
I was about to say, I've been seeing that neighborhood, Kensington or whatever. I don't know what it is. In Philly, where it's nothing but drug addicts, and they're
bro. These people are tipped
zombies.
over, bro. Like people just standing in the street, like clock back and not even fucking moving.
Well, let's go back to the Xanax one, that take your pills, because you know that's where fentanyl was really introduced into the public, because they were replicating Xanax, but they were cutting it with fentanyl. All right, and everybody, you know, they even showed this machine that people can just buy that mixes it and, you know, cuts it like that. And then, you know, the reason that you have all these deaths from fentanyl is because, you know, they can't really tell how much of a you know, dosage was you know, like that. Obviously you kind of want to cut it in half and half, and you'll be fine or whatever like that, but they couldn't tell. But, you know, maybe it was like 80-20, you know, 80% fentanyl and 20% freaking Xanax, you know, like that, and they just cut it way wrong, and then freaking they were having all these things, you know, for that. And they talk about that in that Take Your Pill documentary as well.
That was you know, good. I mean, it's simple. Cutting dope has always been like the way.
Yeah,
it's always been the way.
You gotta stretch it out.
You gotta stretch it out. You gotta make more money. You gotta make more money. But then even when they were stretching coke, you stretch the coke with baby powder. You stretch the
baking
coke with baking soda.
Like
But then you dilute the high. So now, in order to do that, let me find something more potent. So I can use less of it, stretch it, but still make it. And then
it's a whole thing,
bro. I just don't understand. I just don't understand how. I don't understand how the FDA lets people get away with it. Like,
so their whole argument. So the going back to you know, Purdue Pharma, you know, their whole argument was, you know, we're just manufacturing a drug, whatever, you know, once it gets sold or out of our hands and we sell it, you know, gets it sold out like that, you can't blame us for junkies or people abusing it and stuff like that.
And that's where the FDA,
it's a very fine line.
That's where the FDA should be like, look, because so Lynn, you're probably too young to remember this. Oh, E, you're probably too young to remember this too. But there used to be a song when I was growing up, and it was called "Your Mama's on Crack Rock."
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. I've heard a lot of crazy songs.
The song with "Your Mama's on Crack Rock."
And no, I've heard that one. Yeah.
And this was like early '90s, right? It's like early '90s.
Is that Ghetto Boys or?
I don't remember who it is.
I do. I remember. I do.
Your Mama's on Crack Rock. It'd be little kids saying that. So we were little kids, and you were hearing people say, like, being a crackhead was like it was an insult. Like, you were insulting people on crack. So people still use drugs, and then you're like, but how are people still like somebody right now? As we're doing this, somebody's trying crack for the first time right now. Like 40 years later, you're like, like you got to be nuts. Like, how are you still doing this? But when you look at like Big Pharma, it's because where the money comes from in the FDA, they're like, look, you know that this stuff is derived from opium, or it's man-made opium, which I'm going to say is even worse.
Worse, yeah. The chemicals and stuff like that.
I'm going to say it's even worse. If you know that that's what's going on, and you go, well, you know, they're just selling it, but we're not going to, I mean, you know, you're right. It's not their fault. It's like, no, you're letting people pump this out into the stream, and you know that there are people have dependencies. They get addicted to stuff, and you've got something that already shows. Now, you don't see, and I've never seen anybody that's get like wasted off their mind off of Flintstone fucking vitamins, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, man, I need some of those vitamin D gummies. Like, you don't see that shit at all. But I mean, FDA says, it's fine. So figure out another way to let people go through. Because
there's just obviously ridiculous amount of money in it.
That,
you know, and that's what it was. You know, that's the whole story about in this documentary for Painkiller, like that. Like, that family did not give a fuck. All right, he you know, he was just money hungry. All right, when they were only dealing with volume.
That Leo guy.
Who?
The Xanax guy.
No. This I'm talking about Purdue Pharma.
Yeah,
the family for Purdue Pharma. Yeah, like that. Like they didn't give a shit. Like that. The dude like literally just was money hungry. Like that, he took his multi-million-dollar business for Purdue Pharma when it was just messing with volume to $1 billion freaking thing like that, and he because once the founder died, it went off to the grandson, and he took it to a next level like that, and it was all marketing around freaking pain and pleasure, like that. We're gonna take your pain and you're gonna be pleasure, and like they just played into people's emotions, and then they played the whole card of just oh, you got a headache, here you go, here now you're you can be in like that. Like it was just the marketing that they put into it was just ridiculous, man.
Bro, marketing they put into all drugs is like that.
Yeah.
Now same genre, but step aside. How many of these commercials have you seen on TV for drugs?
That is on all the time.
And
everybody looks so happy.
Everybody looks happy, and they're all like you only have to take this pill, twice a month. But then, like, you listen to the side effects, like may cause explosive diarrhea, may cause your toe.
And everybody's laughing, tossing balls,
they're
taking pictures.
They're like, you're supposed to take this for depression, but stop it if it causes suicidal thoughts.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly.
I like SNL. I love SNL when they like make like stupid little skits like that and shit like.
Yeah.
I can't with this shit. It's like I don't know, man. I have a real. I don't know, man. The FDA, man. They need to step up because they're funneling people in, they're funneling things in to mainstream society, and even if you get, medical grade fentanyl, medical grade this, but you take enough medical grade,
this
and
shit's
now
gonna kill you.
Now you're high as a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's still gonna kill you. Yeah, I strongly recommend watch it. I think it's a real eye opener. It's like man, it's a good one. Like that. Who's the actor? God, man, I always forget his name too, man. The freaking Ferris Bueller.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he plays it. He's the great grandson that took it OxyContin to the next level, and he's a good one. I like him. Man. He's one of my favorite actors.
War Games the other day.
He's in there.
Yeah.
War Games.
Yeah.
What is it?
War Games was from the 80s, bro.
80s?
Bro, War Game, Matthew Broderick was a high school kid in the 80s. Hacked into the U.S. defense mainframe and was teaching the computer basically how to play, like how to go to war. And so the computer starts contemplating all these strategies on how to win a war. Like, how do we win a nuclear war? That doesn't sound
familiar to me.
How to win a nuclear war. Yeah. And then the computer just, Jarvis is, I can't remember the computer's name. But he goes through, he teaches the computer, and the computer starts synthesizing all these war scenarios with nuclear wars. And like so the people are all in the Pentagon and shit. They're looking at like, who launched the missiles? Because the computer's just playing the game, right? Yeah. And then at the end, they're like, oh, it's about to make contact. And then the game's like, the computer's like, yeah, there's nobody that's ever going to win this. Like, y'all want to play chess instead? And it's a crazy game, but it's just like this high school computer hack. It's a crazy movie because of course, if you watch it now, you're like, come on. But it's a good movie, man. It's one of my favorite movies. War Games, Matthew Broderick. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, you have got to.
It's always something new, man.
No. It's just an opioid. So they have on the streets in like Philly, bro. They have an opioid overdose kit that they like put on like.
That's in like
street signs.
Well, California started it, and like a lot of other freaking people started adopting it, where they have all these clinics that you can go in and just get clean needles and stuff like that. Yeah. So you could shoot up and do your heroin, whatever it is, like and here's some condoms too, like it's just crazy.
A little pack.
Yeah. Here's a little gift, man. You got your needles, you got your spoon, you got your cotton, you got you got your alcohol rub, you got your condoms on like that. Like, what kind of freaking gift basket is this?
On the one hand, you're like,
a drug addict dream.
It's a bachelorette party. On the one hand, you think to yourself, you're not gonna stop people from doing it,
right?
Right, because there's always going to be people that are going to be depressed. There's always going to be people looking to self-medicate. They don't know the right way. So that's always going to be a thing. But then on the other end, you're like, but if I just put it there, am I begging for it to happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's literally like, all right, a recovering alcoholic, you know. Why are you going to just freaking, you know, like, hey, Lynn, let's go out. You know, let's go hang out at the bar. I know you're not drinking, but, you know, I want a friend to be with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Watch me drink.
Hey, watch me drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, you know, I know you're over, but you know, you're my friend. I was like, why are you going to do that?
Exactly.
Here's a lemon.
You know,
Here's
like
a lemonade.
Yeah. You know, it's, you know, it's like those, you know, how you like those shows where, you know, it's like a sting and stuff like that, where the car is cracked open and, you know, in broad daylight like that in a bad neighborhood, you know. Wow. Of course someone's going to walk up and freaking get in there and see what's up. And then, you know,
then
like
the door's locked, the bait cards and shit.
Yeah, you know, like, okay, come on now. Like, just get rid of it all together. You know what I mean? It's out of sight, out of mind, you know, freaking.
I 100% believe that's the way.
Like that. You know, so I don't really, you know, like that. I think it's a great thing, you know, but you know, let's go and like segue back into, you know, especially like the Xanax with the anxiety and stuff like that, and talk about mental health. You know what I mean? So, you know, right now what I want to start off with is like, you know, you just competed. Yeah. All right. And then you just came back yesterday from competing. It's too like that, you know.
This morning, bro.
How
3 a.m.
You know, how you know, like just as for, you know, specifically just speaking, you know, sports wise, you know, how important mental health, you know, like that, you know, is for you, like that, you know, you want to.
You know, the last episode we talked about creating like a routine and something to bring you back so that way you can stay in your zone. And I think I didn't do that in the past, but I did it this time. In the past, I would get like super bad anxiety, the anticipation of getting, like, knowing I was going to compete and like questioning myself, questioning my abilities and stuff like that. And then when I created the routine this time and I did my thing, I was in a whole different headspace.
You really were.
Whole different headspace. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. And like, I felt ready. I felt confident. I felt good. I didn't get my win, but the fact that I was able to step out there in a whole different headspace, I'm like, this is a level up. This is all I asked for, and the next time I'll get it, you know. But in the past, it hasn't always been like that, and in the past it's been hard. Yeah.
No, I can tell the difference. Like in 30-minute increments, you know, after the shot. You know, that
I still feel I took it too early.
Hey, you know, you gotta put that into your.
Hey, but I loosened up and I was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. And, you know, yeah, you know, I really saw it, and you know, I think like the meter were like you were here, and then I was like here, and then like over the hour right before, you know, as soon as I started seeing, okay, 3 fights are left for you, you know, 2 fights are left for you, 1 fight is left for you. Okay, you're on deck. Like you were like when you were stepping out, and I looked at you and I asked you before you like that, like, you know, I just saw overwhelming sense of confidence. Like I was like, yeah, she's gonna fucking get this, you know, like that. Like, you know, it was like that. But you know, for me in the back of the head, I was like, fuck, now I'm stressed out for her, you know. Like I want her to get this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously it played out like it did, and you didn't come out on top and stuff like that. But
hey, but I saw the video and I was like, dang, I was doing that and I was doing that, and I was like, I felt so good.
Yeah, you know, and so it just goes to show you the routine and stuff like that. But then again, what I tell you afterwards, you know, it's just, you know, just chalk it up for an experience like that, and you already been through these, you know, through this in your head and playing it through and like that, and now, you know, just constantly putting yourself in those situations where you don't feel so much anxiety and stress, you know, those that emotional roller coaster, because that's what it really is, you know what I mean? Am I ready? Am I not ready? It's just a lot of self-doubt, you know, and all, you know, like that, and you know, everybody goes through it, you know what I mean? And the thing is that, you know, you just got to kind of really just ride it like that, and once you're in this shit, you know, like that, like, nah, like I need to take over, you know, for sure, you know, and you know, win, lose, or draw like that, it just, you know, all right, you know, I still was able to take over it. I can recall, you know, all the little miscues that I didn't do, and you know, I could take this as a lesson and then apply it to the next time. But the thing is that if you can't recall those things afterwards, win, lose, or draw like that, you know what, you didn't take control of that emotional roller coaster like that, and you were just so far lost in the sauce.
You can't go black. You can't go black.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You
How about yourself? You know, on a bigger platform as for tournament wise, what for Master Worlds?
So.
How many times? This is what?
This is like let's see, 16, 17, 18. So this is like my fourth or fifth one.
Fourth or fifth time?
Yeah. But there was a big lull.
Is this your first one for black, right?
This is my first one for black.
Black belt, okay.
First one for black. But, you know, there was nothing at brown. So 2019, 2020, 21, there was nothing because COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
Right.
And then 21, I just got my black belt, so I wasn't going 22.
Yeah.
So there had been a big lull. And then it was kind of weird because I went through my routine was the same, and I really did. I felt confident. I felt good. I dealt with all the, you know, whatever. I felt good, but the difference was this took me way back to 2016, the first time I did Worlds. So the first time I did it, I walked in the room and I was like awestruck. You know, like this time I was on mat 30, bro. Right? Like I was on mat 30.
Yeah.
When you've been to
this who the fuck is on mat 30?
Right? Like, and that wasn't the last mat, right? Like I'm on mat 30. So I was like, oh shit, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But this time around, it was my anxiety. Wasn't anxiety. My stress came because I wanted it so badly.
Yeah.
I wanted it so badly that I know where I misstepped. I know the misstep. I know what happened, but I was so tunnel visioned, which is a problem with stress and anxiety. I was so tunnel visioned that I was locked in on one thing and not seeing everything else that was going on around me.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't loose enough. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean that's a razor's edge.
Yeah.
Like you have to be when you're in that zone, you have to be so far in it that nothing else is getting in, but you have to be in the place in it where you can see everything that's going on.
So let me ask you this, since you said that, you know, looking back, all right, what do you feel a competitor should be, like hyper vigilant or overly aggressive?
So I think it depends on what you're doing. But for me, I would think that hypervigilance is the way. Yeah. And when I first started with Pablo, I'm coming from Metro, right? And so I go in my first tournament or two with Pablo. Pablo was like, Jules, he was like, this is a game, not a fight. He was like, stop fighting. This is a game. Yeah. And so I was like, damn, okay. So then I took that into consideration. And then one day, this was 2017. We were getting ready to compete. And I fucking tore it up 2017. But 2017, he said, I'll never forget it. He's Pablo, Brazilian, you know, he's got the accent. English is not always the best. Yeah. It's gotten way better. But back then, I'll tell you the story about that later. But he said, give them nothing and take from them everything. Right? Yeah. And that equates to me to hypervigilance. Yeah. Like be super tight, just be safe. And when they fuck up, then you take it. Yeah. As opposed to being over aggressive and you being the one to make the mistake.
And you miss something.
And you miss something. Yeah. Right. And so
and the only reason I want to ask you that is because, like what you said, you know, like you wanted it so bad, and then like you know, you're so anticipating, you know, like that, you're tired of the wait, you know. As a fighter, I'm like, the wait for me is like, oh
the
God,
worst.
like the worst. It really is. You know what I mean? because I'm ready right now.
Yes.
Now.
You know what I mean? Like that, like how
right now.
what did you just say? You felt like you know
The
you took it too, you know, you took
yeah.
that shot too early, you know,
Right,
like that. You would have
yeah.
timed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, like that, you know. And then like for me, you know, every time I would fight and stuff, like, you know, like that, like, man, like, you know, there's sometimes that before I even step in, or like probably a minute into the fight, I already feel an adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
You know, like that, because like, you know, the timing of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was fucking ready 30 minutes ago. Now I still got 2 hours left, you know, to do it like that. You know, and so then you get into your first fight and you're like, I want it to be over. So now you're super overly aggressive. You're probably missing freaking, you know, opportunities, cues and stuff like that you probably never did. You know, if you would have just chilled out a little bit more. You know what I mean? And
I told you the story about my first Master Worlds, right?
Yeah, like where you know, you're just too freaked out.
Bro, I lost it 2 hours before I ever stepped on the mat. Because I walked in and was so my heart was racing for 2 hours. By the time I slept, I might as well had run a marathon before I even stepped on the mat for the first time. And it's the same thing, bro. Like you need it now.
Yep.
And that part I've been able to come back on. Like,
I do that to myself a lot. You know, I do that myself a lot. You know what I mean? I like, you know, where I want it to be over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I get so aggressive, you know, freaking, you know, doing something like what you're talking about, just tunnel vision and not seeing other things in their setups. Right. You know what I mean? And then I leave a hand behind, or you know, I'll leave a foot behind, or freaking, you know, then I burn my fucking self out, you know, whatever it is, just going so super hard. And maybe I got 2 more matches after this, you know what I mean? And like, you know, so even if maybe I came out with the win on this one, but I'm like, fuck, I'm already toast. I'm already toast on the next one, you know, that's going to come up, you know what I mean? Like that. And you know, you know, overall, just putting yourself in that experience, you know, and then just where you're just doing it time and time after your game, you know, like that, where, you know, like, if you're able to do it financially, you know what I mean? I think that's like that. But if that's not even out of the question, you could do it, and you have, you know, willingly, where, you know, you get numb to those things. You know what I mean? And it's unaffected, you know, like that, you know. And so, but the thing is that just putting yourself out there, you know, like, you know, just making that first step is going to be crucial, first of all. Yeah.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
You have to keep. So I sent you the video that I listened to with Tyson, right? About the moment.
No, I've seen it before.
The moment he walks out. It's just, I don't think it's anything that you can get. It's like Ricky Bobby. You have to learn how to drive with the fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Ricky Bobby, and I'm just like, if you're not first, you're last.
You just like you know it's coming. Like, you know it's coming. Yeah. Like, you know it's coming. Like, your fight day's coming up. I know that I'm gonna go through this process, and I just have to, like, you just have to know, like, you have to get accustomed to say, okay, fuck it, here's what it is. It's like
a you know, like a big UFC event coming up. You know what I mean? I can guarantee you talk to any of those fighters. You know what I mean? What week do they hate? They hate media week. You know, you're talking about 5 fucking days that they are forced to freaking fly in, you know, freaking get in there, disturb their whole camp, their eating, their cycle, everything that they're doing, all right, because they're bound by contract to go ahead and freaking take the pictures, you know, freaking talk to the interviews, do this phone call, sign all these autographs, like that. It is totally takes you out.
And be across the table from the guy that you're supposed to fight. You know, like talking shit to him. Like, just fucking do it.
You know, that this guy's already freaking playing head games, you know, with me. Now I got to freaking deal with the media like that. And then freaking, you know, my weight cut is, you know, still not where it was. It's like, it's just so much around. You know what I mean? But the true champions, the ones that freaking have been there and they, you know, at the show on the big stage like that, and, you know, have put in the time, you know, and multiple title defense, you know, like that, they understand, they're living with that. You know, this is what it is. Go ahead like that, you know. And I can guarantee you that they always shift and adjust something in their camp before that week to make sure that they're on like that, and they don't have to worry about it.
Well, you calculated in to every. Did you see? Maybe you sent it to me. Did you see that interview with Cormier and John Jones, where he was like, I will kill you.
Yeah, there's just so much. Like that.
bro. Yeah. John Jones is the most savage.
You still there, you little bitch?
His interviews with Cormier were the most savage I've ever seen, bro. But it's also part of it. He was like, You know, whether no matter what it was that got him through it,
yeah,
he was always able to get through that big week, the 5-round fights. They just didn't bother him. They didn't affect him. They may have bothered him, but they didn't affect him.
Like for me, like, you know, and like I know there's always gonna be a weight and stuff like that, and for me, like I never care, especially in a tournament, I never care to look at my brackets. You know what I mean? Never care to look at my brackets, you know, like that, because then I started, then, you know, you look in the brackets, you made the mistakes of looking at your brackets like that, and then you start to go to a rabbit hole. Well, who's this guy? What gym are they from? You know, like that. Who's their, you know, that you start to do all that shit, and you get in your head, oh shit. You know,
I used to do that right before I would get on. I would size up my opponents. I'm like, they got 4 stripes and they do this, and I'm like, why did that even? None of that even mattered.
Doesn't even fucking matter. Don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and so I like. It's one of those things that just those head games that you play with in yourself, and then, you know, you're fucking, because between here, you know, like that, freaking between your own ears and your inside your head like that, like that's where what's really, you know, what we're talking about now, your mental health, you know, like that, where you're trying to contain and make sure that, you know what, you keep the edge, you know, you stay hyper-vigilant, you know, you're still confident in your own abilities and what it is, and, you know, you stay away from you know, from your weak spots, and you play to your strengths and things like that, you know, and just, you know, and you're ready and see that thing, you know. I just finished watching an interview with Shane O'Malley. Now that he's champion.
Not the one about his girlfriend, right?
No.
Okay.
I like that, and you know, and he was talking about, you know, his mental mindset, and, you know, freaking right before the fight and stuff like that, and he said that, you know, this was probably the only time, even though it was one of the biggest, you know, right now in his career, freaking fights that he has, you know, like that, he was so ready, you know what I mean? And, you know, the preparation, the camp, you know, the eating, the diet, everything like that, he was on it, you know, like that. But he was telling himself, you know, this whole mantra, the whole camp, you know, and I believe he was like, I'm quick, I'm fast, I'm something else. Like he was saying that, you know, like that. But that's all he was telling himself, you know, in the backstage getting ready, you know, while he was watching all the fights, you know, that's another fucking thing too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Bro, I hate
like,
that
you know,
so
when
much,
I would
bro.
fight, I was like, okay,
so
you know, in UFC, you get your own, you get your own freaking room. You know what I mean? You got your own buddies, your coach and stuff like that, you know, your own room back there. Well, you know, amateurs, when I was coming up, and even, you know, freaking fighting for legacy and things like that. No, you got the red corner room, you got the blue corner room.
Yeah.
All right. And guess what? If you're stuck in that one room that fucking everybody's coming back, whether they're in your team or not, and they're losing, man, it just puts a different fucking vibe in that room. Yep. You know what I mean? Even though you're confident and you're on your head, but, you know, you're just seeing fight 1, all right, blue corner lost. Fight 2, blue corner lost. Like, fuck, I'm in blue corner. You know, like that. Like that, you know, and to get out of that zone like that, man, like you just, man, it's a head game.
That's what. So remember, I was saying, I think I may just fly in on the day of the tournament and fly out the same day, because you fly in, you typically don't compete till mid afternoon. I'm in another city, so I wake up hella early in the morning because it's fight day. So it's not like I can't sleep till noon, right? So then, but now I had to get out of the hotel, so now I'm just sitting around the venue, walking around, all the matches going on, thinking to myself, man, this guy does this, what does this happen, and now all of a sudden you got all these little voices swimming around in your head about all the stuff that even when you don't look at your bracket, you do this, you do, even when you don't, you just you can't help but when you walk around, you go, that guy's about my height, he's got his beard's almost as gray as mine.
He has a black belt.
Yeah, and then all
is that the guy?
You're like, maybe it's this motherfucker. It's like, this shit's just hard, bro. It's
hard.
A
lot, you know, for sure, you know, and it's a lot of timing issues, experience of just, you know, putting yourself in those situations that, you know, this is what's gonna come and stuff like that. You're prepared for those things. For sure, you know, I want to give you some statistics, you know, like that for athletes. 35% of all athletes, you know, suffer from some type of mental health. What is mental health? You know, I mean, you're talking about anxiety, stress, eating disorders, sleep disorders, depression, and then overall the big one, suicide.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many times you freaking hear, some professional athlete that freaking got washed up and like that, and now fucking they're dead somewhere, slumped over the car or the hotel or OD or something like that, just because they're at a very high like that at the pinnacle like that, then they didn't make it, because whatever it is. I just finished watching talk about documentaries and stories Johnny Football.
Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel. That documentary like that. And that was a crazy one like that. But that right there goes to show you, what how big of a lifestyle change it is, when you're becoming some homegrown freaking small town, guy,
right?
Now you're the biggest fish in that pond, and you go to the next level college. All right. And what college itself fucking does to you, like that. You hit on a couple of it, earlier, like that. But then now, now you're creating this bigger, huge, brand and fame, for yourself like that. And you got, you probably couldn't even freaking bag one chick in high school. Now you freaking got girls throwing yourself at you or guys throwing yourself at you like that, depending on, you better read those comments, man, on YouTube.
Pass.
But then,
right,
especially now, freaking, for Johnny Manziel back then, for him, like that, it was illegal for him to make money on the side.
Right.
I mean, even though fucking NCAA is making all the fucking money, for your likeness and your name like that. But now, okay, what's going on with college now? They're fucking signing
can get paid.
fucking $1 million freaking NIL deals and stuff like that.
It makes sense to me.
And shit like that. So fucking, why do they fucking care?
Man, like, I think the one part that people don't take into account whenever we talk about famous people and mental health is we never take into account what fame itself actually is. What fame actually is
Man,
it's
your whole life.
It's the reliance on somebody else to give you validation.
Yes.
That's what fame is.
I'm so happy that you said that word.
So now you're famous, but you're only famous because people give a fuck about you.
Right.
If they don't care about you anymore, and that's where your validation comes from, it's real easy to take a slide down like a rabbit hole. It's because
a slippery slope. Freaking you make one misstep, freaking a bad decision, anything like that, and it's quickly taken away from you as fast as it was given to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though you had all the hard work or the talent, in freaking Johnny Manziel's issue and like that, if you saw the documentary, it was pure talent. You know what I mean? And he was on record in that documentary saying, "Fucking, I didn't work at all. I didn't look at any fucking zero fucking video or tape or anything like that. I just went out there and I fucking played football."
Right.
You know what I mean? All right. Like that. But you know what? There's a lot more. It's a bigger picture, and there's way more people that are counting on you and relying on you, not for you to fucking get money. Right. Because the people that are giving, for you to get money are making way more money. And guess what? If
they're paying you.
If you're putting a wrench in their fucking machine, their money machine like that, guess what? They're going to get fucking rid of you and replace you with a new part.
Somebody else in there.
Yeah, for sure. Like that. So.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, all right? So stemming from what all right, like that, in your facility and your training and stuff like that, why, as an athlete, what I mean, and that you're putting yourself out there to compete, like that, and why do you feel that the anxiety, the depression, the stress, and stuff like that, where would you say that comes from you personally, feeling those things?
It comes from me.
Yeah, but like if you really
some people are like, I hate to lose, I hate to this, I hate that, and that's that's one way to look at it, but that's not the real root of it.
Yeah,
the real root of it is proving something to yourself.
Right.
Like every time I do something, I'm really trying to prove something to myself. I don't really care if this person loves it, that person loves it, whatever. I'm trying to prove it to myself. And so then when I don't do it, it's like fuck. can I really do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, yesterday. Yeah, I lost yesterday.
And how'd your ego feel?
Bro, it wasn't really my ego, but I was thinking to myself afterwards, I was like, should I still be competing?
It was a waste. You know,
I was like, should I still be competing?
It's a lot, you know.
Should I just do something else? I went there, I was coaching all over the place. I mean, I could see everything, but I was like, should I still be competing? You know what I'm saying? Because inside, I was like, man, I put all that in, and I failed myself. So should I keep doing that? Right? Should I keep failing myself?
That's a hard question. You got to.
Well, then I got home and signed up for another tournament because I'm like, fuck it. So I used to ride motorcycles.
Okay, Lovato, you're retired, right? But you were.
Well, I used to ride motorcycles, right? You ever rode motorcycles?
Yeah.
They teach it's only two type of riders: those who fallen and those who haven't fallen. And they say that when you fall, the best thing to do is get back on another motorcycle as fast as you can. Because otherwise you'll let that doubt just starts to simmer and simmer. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm out. I'm going.
It's the modern, once you fall off the horse, get back on.
You got to get
Instead of motorcycle go a little bit faster.
A little bit faster.
I fell off it twice before. And I still want one. It's probably the funniest thing ever. It really is.
It's
as long as there's no crazy traffic like Houston. All right, like that. If you're on a countryside road and, man, you're in your own zone, maybe you got a buddy falling behind you like that. And
dirt bikes, jumping hills and shit.
Like that.
But that's really, but for me, to be honest, like, it comes from inside.
Yeah.
And then you have the external factors too, because
what are your external factors?
Bro, they're your family, they're your friends, they're your coaches.
Are you doing it for them or what?
So doing it for yourself, but you still need that. No man is an island. Like, you still need somebody to be like you still want somebody to be proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want that. And so, and you think about the sacrifices that people make for you on your behalf, right? So, like, Ellie just had a baby.
Yeah.
She let me train twice a day during this, during the first month, so I can get ready for Master Worlds. And then you don't win, and it's like, she made a sacrifice and I didn't show up. Yeah. So
I fell
she
short.
wasted her time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you end up, you know what I'm talking about.
No,
like,
for sure.
It's just this thing, and then you just have to go, and then you have to start, and that makes you figure out, like, bro, I'm 46, so I need to keep doing this. This shit hurts. This is my leg hurts, my foot hurts, and what and I'm doing it essentially for free.
Yeah.
Or for a negative balance, really.
Yeah. I paid all this money, like right. that. I just lost out on freaking X amount of dollars,
It's
like that.
It's like,
what and I came out empty-handed.
It's like, what do you do? But it's those same factors, the same things that build that anxiety and all that stuff is the same thing that builds your hunger and your lust to keep doing it.
Yep.
So it's the beast feeds off of itself, essentially. You just got to keep.
How about yourself, man?
Everything that Jules said is literally the same circle that I run in, and the same hamster wheel where I just start, like, all the personal stuff. Like, whenever I step out onto the mats or anything like that, like, I'm like, all right, this is as good as it's gonna get. This is how I'm showing up. I better give it all I got, because even though I'm doing it for myself, I think of everybody that invested the time, did sacrifices for me to learn, or to teach me, to help me, to be there for me. And stuff like that, including my friends and my family, like, their support, calling them at, midnight and being like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this anymore? Like, what do I have to prove? And it does go back to proving something for myself. When I lost, I took a pretty hard hit, not because I wasn't proud of myself or because of thinking I didn't do my best, because I definitely showed up and did my best. The personal parts came up because of my day-to-days, the stuff that I get into my head about, the stuff that I'm striving for every day is just to be a better person and not feel like I'm wasting time, or I'm a loser, or I don't have anything going for me, or I don't know what I have going for me, and stuff like that. It gets really personal. And having that win was going to prove that I wasn't doing all of this for nothing. I wasn't doing all of this just to, bullshit around. It was for something. It was, but I think something struck a chord with me when you told me that that one night when I fought, and it was, I was the one on stage. I was the one that showed up, and I did that. I did that. Nobody else did that. Not my family, not my friends, and not you, not anybody. I did that. That took guts. I should be proud of myself for getting out of my comfort zone and pushing myself to do something different, because then next time it's going to be better and better and better and better. And so I couldn't even be mad at myself for the loss that I took, because I made my decision in a split second for my well-being, versus not really knowing what could have happened. And so to me, I'm just like, all the personal stuff, my day-to-day stuff, it's still going to be there. But one thing that I feel like I've been trying to work on is compartmentalizing that, like separating that from myself. This can't show up when I'm doing this, because if it does, it's gonna mess with my head, when really it has no factor in it whatsoever of who I'm showing up as. And so I struggled with it, days leading up, the weeks leading up to that, the not being able to regulate my weight, and going up and down, and then having to cut like the last 7 pounds the day right before it really got to me, because I'm just like, I thought I was on it, and I wasn't, because of my stress. I was stressing because I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping because I wasn't eating, and I wasn't eating because I wasn't, and I said no to my friends going out. I stayed home, hunkered down, did extra training sessions, was here, was there, was everywhere, just trying to get the most that I could, try to retain as much information as I could to step out there ready and stuff. And all that stressed me the hell out, to where I was just like, oh man, I really did think that day, I was like, what is this for? And it was for me, so it's a big thing.
No, yeah, it's a lot to just unpack. It's a lot to unpack, especially when you're on the losing side.
Right.
It really is. There's just so much doubt, that goes through your head.
Right.
Like that, and then, obviously it's just bittersweet when you win, it just, freaking, I sacrificed all this stuff, but hey, I forgot the dub,
Right.
Yeah.
Like that, freaking, I'm all beat up and stuff like that. When's the next one? It's so easy to say those things,
Right.
like that. But then when you're on the losing side, of course, is it worth it? I think that's probably like the number one freaking question anybody asks.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah, for me, man, listen to y'all right now, like honestly, I don't want to get emotional, like that, I don't want to be a little bitch, but
it's okay, Daddy.
for me, for me, it's always been a validation thing for me.
Yep.
I've y'all both say that you're doing it for yourselves. Me really thinking hard about it and stuff like that, I don't think I've ever really did it for myself. I know I've been a real I know that I've been a real like hard worker, but I've always loved the fact that I could just go into a room and then all my training buddies are there.
Yeah.
What I mean? And like for me, like it's always been a pattern for me.
Right.
You talk about the military. Number one thing for us when we're going like in deployments and stuff like that, like that, it's always about, about the guy to the right and to the left of you, the man and the woman and stuff like that, wrestling, like that, being on a team, like that. It's not about just you showing up, for yourself like that. No one is trying to win a championship, and stuff like that. You can't do it by yourself. What the fuck does individual, accolades and stuff like that mean if like your whole team ain't winning?
Right.
Like that, and it's always been like that pattern for me, and now being a coach, for sure, like that, it's just really having that camaraderie, like that. So, for me, like I took it so hard when I fucking lost, because then, like you say, like that, like I let my team down. I let my coach down. Freaking, was I really paying attention? Did I put the freaking extra miles in, the hard work and stuff like that? Like I never even fucking cared, and never really been scared of just stepping on the mat or stepping in the ring and doing anything like that. I would, trust me, I'd be the first one to fucking always do it, like that. Whether whether I won or lost like that, I just wanted to know deep down inside me that I did 100%, and then can I get any type of validation, from that, hey, you did your best, like that, we did all this, we're going to fix it like that, hey, but I'm still proud of you, you did 100%. or you fucking win. Fuck yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You keep doing shit like that, and you're gonna be a fucking champion one day. There's no doubt. You know, just the validation. You know what I mean? And obviously, the number one person that you want to get it from when you're in a sport is gonna be from your coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then, you know, let's think about freaking when the rooms are not filled and there's nobody there, and you're training by yourself and you're putting all this hard work, and maybe your fucking coach is not really paying attention to you. Fucking, you know, you're on fight night or you're on fight day, you're fucking, you know, there's nobody really in your corner, and then you lose, and like that right there is like, well, what the fuck am I really doing it for?
Bro,
you know,
what's the hardest thing to do after you lose? The hardest thing not to do after you lose?
Not to do?
Right. I literally have to tell myself not to do it after I lose.
Man, that's a hard question. You know, I would have to think about that.
Not to apologize to my training partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always, like, the first thing is the first thought is, man, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thought. And everybody, and you know, like I tell people all the time, like, win, lose, or draw, like, I'm still gonna be here. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like Eric goes out, Eric fights. It doesn't matter what the result is. I'm still gonna be here.
Yeah.
And even though you know that, at the end of it, you know, you get a negative outcome, and you still want to be like, my bad, dog.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just.
Yeah.
And like, you know, for me, I get fucking mad. I get real mad.
Bro, I'd hate to
lose. I'm not a sore loser, you know what I mean? At all. But, you know, like with anybody that's competitive like that, like I'm as competitive as come. All right, anything that I sign up or I do, I don't give a shit if it's fucking, you know, jiu-jitsu, fucking beer pong, fucking volleyball. Like I don't care what it is.
Right,
you
trying
know,
to win.
Yeah, I'm fucking gonna win. Yeah. All right, like that. I want to win. You know, anything like that. You know, fucking, you know. And so when, like, not that I, you know, I don't get mad in a way that it's I'm a sore loser. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking shake your hand. You know, like that. You beat me fair and square. Today wasn't my day. You know what I mean? But I get so fucking mad at myself, and I just want to fucking leave. You know what I mean? I think maybe you, or it's probably Nancy or somebody. They probably have my IBJJF second.
It's me. I have
She has my second freaking medal, my second place medal for IBJJF Houston. Right. You know what I mean? I think this was probably freaking in the winter. You know, like that. Yeah. Like that. I didn't give a shit. I came there to fucking win, and you know what? I fell short. You know, and it didn't mean, and it doesn't matter nothing to me. You know what I mean? No one, you know, you're not going to fucking schools and stuff like that, and people are proud. Oh man, look at his second place medal and his third place medal,
right?
Like that.
Right.
Nah, you know, you go to someone's, you know, school and stuff like that, and you see all these fucking golds and you know, freaking on there, belts and trophies and shit like that. You know, like that. There's, you know, what is there to really prove about second place? Be happy about second place. You know what I mean? Did you win second place? No. What you did is you fucking lost first.
You were the last person to lose.
Yeah.
You were the last person to lose.
You know, you lost first place. That's what you actually did, and that's my mindset. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, you know,
I would much rather lose early, like lose a qualifier. But once I get like to the podium, like podium places, like it's first place or nothing.
Right.
Like losing, like coming in second place to me is the hardest because it was
right there.
Oh, yeah.
It was there. It was right there. Yeah.
It was right there, bro. You know that's the fucking worst.
And so, you know, once everything, you know, diffuses and I get home and have some ice cream, you know, eat a fucking big burger or something like that from the weight cut, whatever it is, you know, to make me happy. Like that, yeah, like, you know, I'm like, fuck, you know, I think about it, I recall everything, what I did right, what I did wrong and stuff like that, you know, and then, yeah, you know, for sure. You know, I get back to the drawing table and it doesn't, you know, freaking, you know, make me shy away any faster, you know, or at all from the next tournament. You know what I mean? Like that, I just, you know, for me, just, yeah, you know, I got to kind of cannibalize myself and freaking be like, you know what, I got to do better. I got to train harder, everything like that, and freaking, you know, fix my mistakes like that. But, you know, but the thing for me that, you know, ultimately is just that, you know, that word validation. You know what I mean? You know, it eats me alive a lot, you know, in not just in sports, but, you know, overall through life with anything that I'm really trying to do and succeed in. Because that, you know, obviously, you know, if you didn't succeed, you know, you just chalk it up as a failure. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, or freaking the hard, you know, pill to swallow, you know, of a lesson like that, because, you know, there's not, you know, you didn't get the validation that you really wanted.
So there's an old movie about some drug dealers in New York called Paid in Full.
Yeah.
Right? You seen Paid in Full? So in Paid in Full, there's one line, man, I'm telling you, Money Making Mitch is talking to Ace after Ace gets robbed and shot. And Mitch tells him, he says, I love the game. I love the hustle. Right? And then he's like, you know, I got money. I could leave the league. He's like, but if I do, are the people still gonna love me?
No.
And I was like, and yo, that's the thing, bro. Like that's the thing. Like you kind of wonder. Like yesterday, you know, I'm walking around JitsCon, and I still don't know how I know all these people. Right? I don't know how I know them. Like high level guys. Like I'm sitting there and I'm rolling around on the ground with Rolando Sampson. Right? Like he's like, oh man, maybe next time you do this, you know. Like just there. Like this is high level dude, right? And he's like chilling and we're talking and rolling around on the fucking ground, right? And people are like, how do you fucking know this guy? I was like, I don't know, I just know all these people. But then you kind of think like, but do I go away? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not here,
are you gonna?
Yeah, they're gonna find somebody else.
do I go away?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of weird. So it's like that's the validation. I'm telling you, it's you need it. We need it. We need it. We can't. No man is island. What happened to the dude? He started talking to the fucking volleyball, bro. he needed somebody else to be there.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah. And,
Wilson was a cool dude though. Got a nice haircut.
Yeah, until he floated off into the ocean. You know, like that.
Tom was trying to do crazy shit to him. He wasn't about that. We could talk, but all this extra shit. But yeah, man, it's and those are the things that people don't play into, and they don't get to the root of.
Right.
Like because everybody looks at mental health as a very like a superficial issue, and it doesn't mean that you're traumatized. It doesn't mean it's just the way that your brain works and where your psyche. You need to know what your psyche is, what you need to feed your brain, what you need to not feed your brain. Yeah, you know, and how to keep your brain from eating itself. Like that's all mental health. Yeah, you know, you could be, you know, you go to the doctor. Doctor says you don't have, you're not sick, you're not nothing, you're not nothing. That's your bill of health. Yeah, he didn't tell you there was anything wrong. That's your health. Yeah. So sometimes the health is good, sometimes the health is bad. You just have to figure it out. And like when you were pointing at your ears, cauliflower. You pointed at your cauliflower. Like if it's in here, like this is the strongest brain, the strongest muscle in your body. Bro.
Your body's not gonna do it unless your mind tells you. Your brain
it's not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And unless it's rudimentary, like you'll breathe and shit and piss without. But other than that, you'll just sit there and breathe and shit and piss on yourself, and nothing else will happen. No, you know. So it needs to. If it's in here, it can happen. Yeah. Good or bad. Yeah. Right.
You know, and you know, I think it's one of the biggest things that's really overseen all the time when it really comes to someone's health. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks health, you know, physically, you know, exercise like that, my body's in shape, you know, I got muscles, whatever like that, my heart is good like that. But then I think it's just so quick that people would freaking oversee that, okay, that my mentality, my you know, my mental health is there, you know, my spiritual health, like it's a balance, you know what I mean? Like that, all that shit needs to be in sync, you know what I mean? When you know, freaking, you're destroying your body to build it up like that, but then freaking on the other side, you know, freaking, you know, how's mentally are you working, you know what I mean? Are you getting the right, you know, you know, are you getting enough sleep, you know what I mean? Do you have the right environment? Do you have enough support, you know, around you like that, you know, to keep you on track, and like, you know, all those things, you know, like that, you know, to really suppress, you know, the anxiety and the stress, you know, like that, where you can unload those things, you know, like that. You know, it's only so much that you can really pile on your fucking plate, you know what I mean? And it's only so far that you can really stretch yourself like that before you fucking break like that. And so just lost a train of thought, you know, but yeah, you know, your mental health, you know, like I always tell, you know, people like that, you know, especially now, you know, with my fighters and my competition guys and stuff like that, when they just have this big mental block, you know, really taking that first step or that next step, you know, for the next level, you know what I mean? Like that, you know, it's already tough. Okay, I made it into the gym. All right, now I'm training like that. I've been training for a while now. Now I'm getting into the cage and then I'm sparring. Right. Now I'm sparring for a while. I'm doing real good like that. Okay, I want to see, a smoker or an amateur fight, like that. Now, those are all those little steps that you have to take and stuff like that. And along the way, your mental, your mentality, is always going to be there on how you, feel about things like, like that, where you take the losses or, how you take the wins, life in general that's surrounding you, with your friends and your family like that, how big your circle is, how small your circle is and things like that. Yeah. So, but, at the highest level, especially when you reach the highest level, because, you, all those steps until you become an actual professional like that. And it's, now you totally had all the validation, from there, all your hard work, because that's going to be the pinnacle. Why are you doing any of this stuff?
Right.
It's not like, obviously Worlds is going to be the pinnacle for jiu-jitsu, but then, you're talking about other professional sports, like that, making it to the big league, the NBA, UFC, MLB, whatever it is like that. And, I've been doing this 10 and 20 years like that. And, now I made it to the big league. Can I show up?
Right.
And mentally, you have to be prepared for that. It's not like your skill set and your hard work goes fucking away. All right, you've been doing it for freaking X amount of years already. What I mean? Now this is the big show. Can you freaking still perform like you've been performing that got you there? Like that, and mentally freaking take hold of everything and then, take it to a next level. And
against
then
the best of the best.
Yeah. But then on top of that is like, okay, when you get that high up, now, a different X factor comes in, what we talked about with fame. Now everybody knows your name. All right, you're getting paid, like that, and like your life is freaking, out there for everybody to see.
Fishbowl.
Like that. What'd you say?
Fishbowl.
Yeah. Freaking everybody seeing you like that, all your wrongs, all your rights, like that, freaking how you acting up, freaking that, how you taking care of your wife and
everything
your kids.
You do.
Yep.
Everything, especially now with, with phones and social media and everything like that, there's nothing exposed. You can hide from when you actually get to the pinnacle of your sport like that. You know what I mean?
Everything.
All right, like you take someone, freaking as clean cut as you ever fucking thought Tiger Woods was, and then freaking he gets in one accident like that and everything unfolds that he's cheating on his wife and everything like that.
Got alcohol problem.
Like that. Let's go back to Johnny Manziel, like that.
Man.
Freaking, hometown kid, the documentary like that. Freaking, freshman year at A&M, he becomes the first ever freaking Heisman like that. Boom, put on the mat.
Right.
Now he's running this underground freaking autograph signing, thing with his friend, making freaking like $30,000 a week, like that. Then he goes to the NFL and then he just fucks it all up. It's just, how many times you hear like, just kids that are getting drafted, whether the NFL or the NBA like that, dirt fucking poor. Mother struggling freaking, on a low income freaking apartment or something like that. And then boom, they sign a fucking $10 million freaking signing bonus, to whatever fucking team.
Not even a signing bonus, bro. Yeah. Not even a signing bonus.
What are you talking about?
You're in college.
Mm-hmm.
You're in college. Your freshman year, you run a 4.28 in the 40.
Mm-hmm.
You're already a prospect. You got to do 2 years, and then and the NFL scouts are already looking at you. They already want to buy you cars. They already want to. Yeah. They already take you out. They're already courting you, and your mother's still living in Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
And this is what you've done, because I always twofold. You took this kid who started playing Pee Wee League football at 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been playing from 4 to 18, 14 years for fucking free.
Yeah.
For free, and now you're saying just do the same thing, and I'm going to give you some money.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you take the money? My family's struggling. Yeah. Anybody else, you say your family's struggling.
Look at Reggie Bush, got in trouble, got his fucking Heisman taken away from him and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm like, what do you expect these kids to do?
What do you expect them to do?
You know what I mean? If freaking, I'm like, they're not looking out for themselves and being greedy for themselves. The majority are not. You know what I mean?
The reason they're doing it is because they're trying to get their family out of there.
Yeah.
And now
they are the golden ticket, and you're telling them, you know what? You can't cash it out.
You cannot be.
Yeah.
You can't be.
You're the fucking lottery ticket, and you can't cash this out.
You can't be.
Unless we say you can do it.
You can't do it.
But, it's just so much with that. Like, it's just...
It's control.
Yeah.
And it's money.
Yeah.
And by the time you get around to it, because what they were doing. What? You have these kids you're doing this. Like you were saying, they're selling they're selling their likenesses. They're doing all this stuff. But now when they're coming out, somebody else has already been selling your likeness. So now you got to get a percentage of yourself.
Yeah.
But I've always been me.
Yeah.
But you've been selling me.
Yeah.
So now I can only get a percentage of myself.
You know, now, you know, obviously now with these NIL deals in college now, you know, obviously, you know, that has completely changed the game, you know, for these kids, you know, especially in college, you know, because that's where it's at, you know, where it starts at, like that, where they know they can make a difference, not just in their own lives, but in, you know, their family, their friends' lives, like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game changer that they could do this now. So obviously that's a huge positive step, you know, towards that way for those kids and stuff like that. And then now, you know, they're not so shell shocked when they finally make it to the big leagues, where okay, I was making this much money like this, okay, like, you know, $1 million. I think Arch Manning, which is freaking Peyton Manning's no, the Peyton Manning's nephew.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the other one. Yeah.
Freaking, I think it's Arch Manning, like that. I think he has like a $3 million freaking NIL deal with the Longhorns and stuff like that. You know, Texas Longhorns to be the QB and things like that. But like the thing is that okay, you know. Yeah, he comes from money, you know what I mean, like that. And, you know, he's worked hard like that, but he's already making his own money. So, you know, when he goes to the NFL, and then now instead of, you know, making $3 million, now he's making freaking, you know, $30 million. It's not a huge change. You know
but think about what's so weird about that. So Lynn goes to college to be a chef, right? She goes to college to be a chef, culinary. While she's in college, she can go get a job at the Taste of Texas
and make money.
Right? She's not a chef yet. She's still Amy, but she can still work and make money.
But you know
they're not going to kick her out of school.
The thing about it is that she's not on a full scholarship where we're paying for room and board and food and stuff. Like, see, that's how they get them. You know, that's how they get them.
And you're just like, but even your full scholarship people.
Yeah.
So you're on a full scholarship.
No, but I'm talking about with these sports guys. Sports guys.
But even the academic people that are on a full scholarship to med school, to this, whatever, you can still work in a doctor's office and make some money. Just keep your grades up. You keep performing your obligation, and then you can, because you need to live. You need to live. Yeah. And I get it.
You know, back then,
man.
It was a huge hustle.
They hustle, man.
You know, and back then, you know, I'm pretty sure that's how they probably saw it. You know what I mean? I was like, they got a full ride. We're providing, you know, room and board and food and free books for their education, their classes and stuff like that. You know, freaking all they have to worry about, you know what, is, you know, don't fail your freaking classes and freaking show up to all the practices and freaking perform on Saturday. Yeah.
So that your $100,000 education over these next 4 years, I can make $20 million from the Booster Club because of you.
Even more than that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, bro. It's such a hustle. I'm glad they knocked that off though, because that was obnoxious.
No, for sure. Any closing thoughts?
Man, we've been getting some really good positive feedback on the podcast. I really appreciate it, guys. You know, we're working, we're growing. Hopefully we'll get there. Keep showing love, keep showing your support. As far as today's topic, I would really like for mental health to be a continuing topic for us, and I think we all would. So if you have any of those like brainy you know, mental health issues, anxiety issues, if you just have a question you want to be answered, you want to hear our thoughts on it, especially in the realm of mental health, do not hesitate to ask, because we not only want to be like a source of information, but we, you know, if we, as much as we could be a source of support, we'd like to be. So, you know, thanks for showing love, and we're here.
Right?
Yeah, we're here. Comment, DM us, let us know what your thoughts are and what's going on with you guys. We definitely want to be able to discuss all this on the podcast to be able to, you know, help somebody out, whether or not, you know, it's directly, indirectly, and all that stuff. I mean, like Joel said, we're not here just to inform or anything like that. We're here also for support. So,
you know, again, guys, you know, reach out, talk to somebody, you know, like that. You know, you know, always seeking out and like that, you know, is the best way, you know, just to vent out and you know, release that stress and stuff like that. You just keep it in, you know, you're going to implode, and for sure, you know, when it goes bad, it's for sure going to go bad. like that, but other than that, guys, go ahead and leave a comment, on, what's the best way that you deal with your anxiety or your stress, and like that, along what we're talking about for sports and in your sports and stuff like that, and what you feel is the best way that you've handled like that. I would love to hear it, for sure. Other than that, guys, all right, Sweat Equity. I'm Eric Valdez alongside Jewel Johnson and Lynn Lopez, guys. All right, you can find us on Instagram at SweatEquityHTX, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, guys. All right, if you haven't already, leave a like, a comment, subscribe, notifications. All right, like that. If you like what we're talking about like that, and you want to continue supporting what we're doing here, like for sure. All right, sorry for the wait. These guys were busy. And so hopefully everything's gonna turn out better the next time.
We'll be back.
For sure, guys. All right. Until next time, guys. We'll see you.